raise the ramp whenever or to whatever you need. Let's Control Z that. Get rid of the. Don't do that. Ramps are not splines. That's, as you just saw when I hit delete there, it deleted the whole landscape because this is not a spline. This is just a tool to create a one-to-one point. You can also increase the side fall off, increase the width, so like this ramp will look a little bit different than, say, this ramp. As you can see. Okay, now flatten back out. Go back to whence you came. Okay, next one, erosion. Ooh, one of my favorites. I like erosion because it gives more of a natural feel as long as you don't really overdo it. So this one is it's more of a wind erosion and stuff like that as opposed to hydro erosion, which we'll get to in just a second. And in here, you can set surface thickness, iterations, how much noise you want, your noise scale. You can set the strength of the erosion, and you just run it over, and it'll actually like deteriorate the landscape as if it was in these conditions that would cause it. So, as you can see here, we're getting these really nice divots inside of the landscape just from the erosion tool. And you didn't have to sit there and sculpt each and every piece. One of the things you might run into, and I have run into in the past, is if you do this too much, you get those spikes like I was talking about, and they can get kind of crazy. Okay. Now, we're going to go over the hydro erosion, which this one actually simulates more like rainfall. And it is much, much more prone to getting the spikes than the regular erosion. Positive. So, as you can see, I mean, all I'm doing is left clicking and holding, and it just eats away at the landscape to really give it that, tropical rainforest, rain's pouring down, and all the sediments just moving forward. You can move how much sediment's being moved. It just kind of goes through and eats away at the landscape until you get the look you want, and then you can smooth it out and fix it up. Like right here, I would not personally like this. I prefer much smoother, typically, but it all depends on what you're looking for. Noise is annoying. Because noise is the biggest is both a very useful tool, as you can see, for quickly randomizing a terrain, but let's say you just hold it for a minute, and all of a sudden you're starting to get spikes, and the ground freaks out, and all of these vertices in here just start stretching and look horrible. Oh my god, I am not a fan of noise. Though, I mean, it has its uses. If you need a very not specific landscape, noise is your friend. Let's smooth this out a little bit. And I'm going to just run the flatten tool, get that back up to a normal level so we can see. Okay. Ooh, retopologize. Okay, so I'm actually going to use the noise tool again because we kind of need to stretch these vertices so that the retopologize thing can be seen. So this tool has a very specific function. Very specific. All it is meant to do really is when you get these stretching things going on, you run retopologize over them so that it will reconfigure the way the vertices are working together and make it look a little less janky. A good practical example will be let's see, sculpt. Let's go with component. Let's say you had this, and as you can see, like those, that it doesn't like that at all. yeah, you can go ahead and raise those. You can kind of see this stuff is stretching and stuff like that. And then you come in and retopologize. And it fixes up. It's not overly noticeable, but it's very good for fixing up like sides of cliffs and stuff like that so that the textures don't stretch really far out. And it is your friend. However, it is also, from my personal experience, I can't speak for everyone, it is the most prone to crash of the landscape tools. So you have to be very careful with it. And then the last tool is simply the visibility tool. If you have a landscape material that has a hole in it, for instance, let's create one real quick. Landscape viz. So I'm going to set this to translucent. Landscape visibility mask. And let's give it a base color of green. We're going to have a very green landscape. I know, I'm very creative. Set that up. I chose the wrong thing. We don't need translucent. We do need translucent. We need to just set it in the opacity. Yes. Boop. So that's really all that's needed for the landscape opacity mask. I don't know if this has changed because I haven't had this question come up in a while. It used to be that you would typically want to put the landscape hole material in a separate material from your typical landscape material, but that wasn't working properly, so the workaround for it was in your landscape material itself, just put the visibility mask and use that in both spots here. You got your material and your hole material. And then once this has compiled shaders, I'll be able to show you how that works. Oh, that was thirsty. Come on. Oh, oops. Okay, so apparently I was painting without meaning to. Let's paint some of that back on, or I guess I could just go. Ah, what happened? Okay, hold on. Apparently I accidentally painted a hole over the entirety of the landscape. Okay. There we go. Make sure. Oh, damn it. Let me create a new landscape. Being very tedious. New landscape. Create. There we go. Paint. Okay, there we go. So you can see it's a pretty green landscape. And we need to switch to landscape 2. Oh my god, why are you fighting me on this? There it goes, okay. Oh, it's not, I just can't see because it's so freaking green. Okay, well at least so I know it's working. So, as you can see, select visibility, left mouse button, and my brush is way too large. That's the problem. Okay, there we go. So you can paint right over it. And the cool thing is, this actually removes the collision around this area, or at least it's supposed to. There may be a bug with it, I can't remember. Um, but it removes the collision right around it. So these are actually holes that you can fall through. So it's great for, like, if you have a mountain, you could use this to create the entrance to a cave or something like that. One thing to note is that dynamic light does not or it's either dynamic or static lighting does not properly pass through landscape holes right now. It's something that's being worked on. What you'll have to do to rectify that is just put like a light inside of your cave and have it simulate the light shining through. Uh, but right now, yeah, that's the big problem with landscape holes, is that the static lighting actually doesn't go through properly. I think dynamic does. But yeah, that is pretty much most of what you need for at least getting started with landscape tools. Pretty much my recommendation is go play with it. It is a lot of fun once you get used to the quirks of it. But anyways, so that is the end of the mostly planned version of this evening. If anyone has any questions or anything, if not, I can go and try to pull questions from like the forums or whatever. I'll give it just a minute to see if anyone has a question before I start doing that. Well, I actually don't know how many people are in here today. So, 1. TK4, you're my man. So, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, I'm going to start just going through the blueprint scripting section and seeing what I can find. Otherwise, we may call it early tonight, just because I have nothing else planned, and my mind is kind of fried. Oh, Cryptic Gur. Hi. Hi. Why is it only showing one person in my stream? Okay. Well, hi, there's 2 people. But Cryptic Gur, I've been in the industry for just over a year, actually. I got my degree from Full Sail University in November of 2013, and I got picked up by Epic, actually, in February of 2014. And I've been there ever since. I love it. It's amazing. And pretty much everything I've learned about UE4 and really game design in general, I learned at Epic. I felt like my time at Full Sail was definitely amazing, and I learned a ton. But mostly, I learned there how to think like a game designer and how to properly learn how to do what I want. At Epic, I actually learned the program and getting it done, getting my hands dirty. So, I guess overall, in terms of professional experience, fairly new to the industry. But I did do schooling for like 4 years. Let's see. Trying to find if anything in the blueprint section sounds like something we could do tonight. There are 4 people now. Oh god. Hi, 4 people. Welcome to the stream. Let's see. Trying to think. Of those who just came in, if you have any questions or anything, please feel free to ask. We are in the section where I just kind of help out wherever people are having trouble. So if you have any questions or anything and I can answer them, I will. If not, I'll try to at least point you in the right direction. I can't promise I know everything. Where is a good question to answer? Maybe the Answer Hub. Let's go check the blueprint section on the Answer Hub. Maybe there is something there. In fact, I'm going to move it over here so you guys can see what I'm looking at as well. So the Answer Hub is pretty cool. If you go to the blueprint scripting section, as you can see, there are 10,360